We are live now.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are on.
Umesh sir also joined.
YouTube लाइव होगा अपनी बोल सकते हैं YouTube लाइव हो गया इसमें बता दीजिए कहाँ है
हम लाइव हैं, आप स्टार्ट करें।
मैडम यहाँ का फोन बंद कर दीजिए तो चला रहा है मोबाइल तो यूट्यूब नहीं
Om Shri Sai Ram. I, Sathya Makitani, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Application, Shri Sathya Sai College for Women, Bhopal, welcome you all on this national workshop on innovations in teaching and learning. It's my honor to welcome Honorable Dr. Meena Pimplapure Madam, Chairman, College Governing Body, respected Principal Dr. Asha Agarwal Madam, Vice Principal Dr. Jyotsna Galgale Ma'am, our eminent speaker, respected Dr. Amit Sinhal Sir, respected Dr. Umesh Gupta Sir, senior professors and colleagues. I now request our Principal Dr. Asha Agarwal Ma'am, Vice Principal Dr. Jyotsna Galgale Ma'am, and Convener Vishali Kadve Ma'am to offer flower to Ma Saraswati and formally inaugurate the program. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I invite our principal, Dr. Asha Agarwal Madam, for welcome address.
Om Shri Sai Ram. My pranam in the lotus feet of Sri Sathya Sai Babaji. Today we all have assembled here for a workshop organized by the Computer Science and Application Department of Sri Sathya Sai College for Women on the topic Innovation in Teaching and Learning. On this occasion of Vishwakarma Day 2, I pray my pranam to Vishwakarma ji and greetings to everyone. It is a great pleasure to have with us our eminent chairman, governing body, Dr. Srimati Meena Pimplapure ji. We welcome you today on this auspicious occasion. I welcome the eminent speakers, Professor Dr. Amit Sinhal, JKL University, Jaipur, and Associate Professor Dr. Umesh Gupta, JKL University, in this workshop of innovation and teaching and learning. They both will hold together this workshop, which will be live streamed on YouTube too. The college also welcomes all the participants, professors, teachers who have joined the workshop. Hope this workshop will enrich and innovate their teachings and learning process. All the best to the team of Mrs. Vaishali Kadve, Mrs. Chaya Makijani, Gitesh Chauhan, Ekta Sabharwal, and others who have worked for it. Sai Ram, all the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would now request Chairman, College Governing Body, Dr. Meena Pimplapure, Madam, to bless us with her kind words. Chairman, ma'am.
मैम मीना मैम ने अभी तक ज्वाइन नहीं किया है या शायद बीच में उनका अनलिंक हो चुका है?
एक मिनट में फोन
Due to some technical problem, Meena Pimplapure Madam not able to join us. She will join later. I now invite Vaishali Kadve Ma'am, convener of the workshop, for introducing the objective and our eminent experts for the workshop.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Very good morning, a very good afternoon, and warm welcome to everyone present here for the National Workshop Innovations in Teaching and Learning, organized by Department of Computer Science and Application, Sri Sathya Sai College for Women, Bhopal. On behalf of the Department, Computer Science and Application, I take privilege to welcome Honorable Dr. Meena Pimplapure, Chairman, College Governing Body, respected Principal Dr. Asha Agrawal, experts of today's workshop, Dr. Amit Sinal and Dr. Umesh Gupta, all the participants, including senior staff members and my colleagues. Before we begin with the workshop, I take privilege to introduce our expert for the today's workshop. Dr. Amit Sinal is a professor, Computer Science and Engineering, Institute of Engineering and Technology, J.K. Lakshmipati University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. He is M.Tech, PhD in Computer Science. Dr. Amit Sinal has more than 2 decades of experience in teaching, research, and IT industry. Dr. Amit Sinal has worked in Atlanta, USA, for on-site projects of Core Card Incorporated. His areas of research include software engineering, soft computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and natural language processing. He has also filed 2 patents. Currently, he is editor-in-chief of Scopus Index International Journal. He has organized many national international conferences and FDPs. His publication includes many research papers in national and international journals. He also has 4 book chapters and one book to his credit. Dr. Amit Singhal was awarded with Best Head of the Department and Academician in year 2016, 17 and 18. He is also lifetime member of various national and international academic bodies such as ISTE, CSI, CSTA. Our next speaker, Dr. Umesh Gupta, is Associate Professor, Computer Science and Engineering, Institute of Engineering and Technology, J.K. Lakshmipati University, Jaipur. He is MSc, MPhil and PhD. Dr. Umesh Gupta has 21 years of experience in teaching and learning in statistical data analysis and optimization technique. He has presented several papers in world international conferences and lifetime member of various international and national academic bodies. Dr. Umesh Gupta is also the president of Soft Computing Research Society of Jaipur. He is member of IACT Singapore. Dr. Gupta had been visiting professor at Cloud State University, USA. He has developed a number of UG/PG courses, including computational data analysis, and written several textbooks. He has organized national, international conferences and training programs supported by DST and Michigan Technical University, US. Dr. Umesh Gupta is president of Institute of Innovation Council of MHRD Government of India and core team member of Atal Incubation Center at J.K. Lakshmipati University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. We are extremely proud to have such dynamic personalities with us for today's workshop. I am extremely grateful that Dr. Amit Singhal and Dr. Umesh Gupta accepted our invitation to be here. Before I invite speaker for the session, I would like to highlight the objectives of the workshop. When there is a willingness to change, there is a hope for progress in any field. Creativity can be developed and innovation benefits both the students and teachers. Scientific research has shown that innovative teaching methods and approaches can significantly enhance the students' learning process. As we go down memory lane, we recall many of the movies that are memorable and inspired us were based on teachers and professors who use innovative techniques, methods, and transform their lives of students. Such innovations possibly happen only on the screen. But today, thanks to technology, teachers around the world have reinvented their delivery methodologies by using several books, tools, and make learning adaptive, inclusive, and dynamic. Effective, relevant teaching also be of great benefit when the educator keep experimenting and applying different pedagogical techniques and approaches, curriculum enhancement, course design, and assignments that are contemporary and create a roadmap for the student to self-correct. Every educator has different approach to teaching. From the traditional learning model to the most innovative and corrective classroom, keeping in mind 21st century skill, every teacher must adopt innovative approach to teach to keep the students continuously engaged in learning and understanding. Also, when taught the teacher's pedagogy, what become all the more important is objective of the content taught and learning outcomes. We are teachers, professionals, are living in the era of outcome-based learning, and which we all needs to be well equipped. Our workshop today is based on this only. I hope your active participation in workshop will facilitate in attaining the objectives of this workshop. Without taking much time, I would invite our experts to enlighten us with storehouse of knowledge and experience. Happy learning. Sir, please.
So, thank you very much, Vaishali ma'am, for introducing us and giving a brief objective of this workshop. So, I hope this is, of course, a workshop, and we have to do some hands-on and make involved in this activity-based learning, we can say. First, let me share my screen so that is it visible?
No, sir. ऐसा लिखा है that Amit Sinhala has started screen sharing. We can actually.
Okay, it's taking time.
And
Now,
no, sir.
still not visible. Okay.
Now, sir, it is visible.
Okay. So I think we are all here for doing some or learning about what innovations we can do in teaching and learning. Of course, we are all teachers. Most of you are teaching from last 10 years, more than that. So every time we cannot say teacher is doing everything same as from the last 10 years. They've evolved, a lot of things we have changed, and I think we should thank to this COVID. In last 2 years we have evolved a lot. I think this type of hybrid FDP or workshop can be not actually thought before COVID, because before that we always have good that physical mode is available, and of course physical mode is we can say after this experiences there is no replacement, but we can supplement. Like if some experts is not available, we can at least discuss, or some of the students is having some difficulty in learning, they can opt some this kind of hybrid mode. So this is also an innovation from in last 2 years. So we cannot say we are not doing innovation, but today we will talk or focus on some particular way that we actually experimented in J.K. Lakshmipant University, and we will give you a case study of for one course, and we hope that all of you will try to actually apply in for your course, and of course this will give you some different thought, and you may have some better way of teaching and learning. So I will start with just a traditional approach we are following. I think we are studying in our school time also and our college time. Normally teacher is in the center, right? So we actually follows the teacher centric approach, in which teacher actually prepare the contents, right, and deliver the contents to the students through some theory lectures. There are some labs, and there are some kind of, mostly we have this lot in timetable, if you have seen, theory classes and some labs, if that course have that lab components. Otherwise, if some like literatures and all, normally nobody use labs. So this is very traditional way, and after theory exams we conduct the, after theory contents we completion of the course we conduct the exam. So this is very straightforward way of teaching and learning, but do you think it is really effective for students? So because that is having a lot of limitations, because it is a teacher-centered approach, and student have issues, isolated. They feel isolated if they missed some classes, or sometime there are big huge number of classes students, so teacher can't give attention to each and every student, so they feel isolated. Sometimes they feel disengaged because of this some break in the attendance, attending the classes. Sometimes they are not able to engage, or even when we follow the theory component, normally student is not having interest, because sometimes he thinks he can cover through the books or through the online materials. So engagement is not that level when we follow the standard or traditional pattern of teaching. The same way, he is not able to connect himself with that particular subject or course. It may have a daydreamer. He is sitting here, but he is thinking outside. He is not actually putting his focus. He lost his focus, because the way we are teaching traditionally, if we are teaching traditionally, of course, we as a, if you think you are a student, and today in this workshop, I also give a continuous 1 hour this kind of presentation. I think you will also feel the same way. You will also not feel comfortable or get bored also. So this is our traditional approach, and that was the limitations, or we can say drawbacks. So what to do? So of course, transition we are doing, as I told you, we are moving towards this kind of tools, online facilities. We have like PPTs, we have some more visual content creations, and we can teach through many other ways. But again, like, of course, blackboard is still there and it is useful. We cannot deny blackboard teaching is always be there. But how long or how much, that is important. Because if you always teach on blackboard, then it will be a problem. But if you always teach on the slides also, it may be a problem, right? So we have to actually use these all the tools available. What portion we should explain through blackboard, what portion we need to explain through PPTs, and there are many modern tools, so that we can actually get the advantage of all these tools. And ultimate aim is to get a education more interesting, more fun oriented, so the teacher so the student will be involved, he will not disconnect. And we have to actually, the purpose of whole course is to fulfill the objective, and we are having some expected outcomes, so that we have to do some kind of activities and some assessments. So today actually we will discuss about these things only, what new dimensions for this growing education. So I will just give you one thought, that how we can do. Am I audible?
क्या लर्निंग है इसके
Yes,
अंदर
sir.
तो
हमें भी कॉल कर
प्रॉब्लम अभी
जाओ
so
और
so the
ना यही तो शेयरिंग है तो YouTube पे देखूंगी घर पे अभी तो ज्वाइनिंग के लिए कर लेगी
प्लीज अपने आप को म्यूट कर लीजिए.
So as I told, like in traditional teaching, जो हम लोग regularly class attend कर रहे हैं, टीचर आए, थ्योरी ली अपनी, उन्होंने कुछ बताया, स्टूडेंट है some अगर उनको डाउट लगा तो पूछा, अदरवाइज ठीक है. फिर अगर लैब हुई तो लैब में हम लोगों ने we have assigned some experiments they have done. So but this is not make more engaging. So we are proposing like activity. Okay. So everything should be in form of activity. Either it will be a class, it will be a lab, or it will be a combination of both. Because nowadays, if you've seen, we are not doing lab and theory separately, especially in computer science. We have laptops, we do simultaneously that particular lab, we understand the theory also and concept also and perform it. So these kind of activities we can do multiple activities that we'll see in detail. But first component of learning is activity. And but how what and how that is important. Means for your particular course, you have to think as a teacher. You can think in better way what activities are really make impactful. जैसे हम कोई कोर्स पढ़ा रहे हैं, सी प्रोग्रामिंग पढ़ा रहे हैं, या इवन आप एनी कोर्स प्रोग्रामिंग के अलावा भी मैथ्स ही पढ़ा रहे हैं, तो यू हैव एन आइडिया व्हाट हाउ वी कैन मेक इट इंटरेस्टिंग एंड व्हाट आर एक्टिविटीज वी शुड इंक्लूड. So we can think what activities and how these activities will be conducted, right? So instead of teaching theory or teaching just giving lectures, we have to decide some at least 5-6 activities before starting the courses. Okay, then we have actually, after doing the activities, then reflection is there. When student performs that activity, obviously they feel something. So what are their feelings that we should know? If they are we can understand as a teacher, we can easily understand by their expressions, their actually the behavior, what is the impact of this activity. Really this activity enjoying them, learning them or not. Accordingly we can change our or way of we can include some activity, or we can modify our activity based on their feeling and experience and what it impact actually. So after doing that activity, the student build some concepts, and that is our purpose. So conceptualization, he has to think why did that happen. अगर आपने कोई एक्टिविटी कराई है, तो जब स्टूडेंट उसको करने के बाद एक्चुअली सोचेगा कि ये हुआ क्यों, and that was our purpose. So that's what I am telling you. Instead of teaching that concept theoretically, we teach it through activity, so that after doing activity he will have this thought, why did this happen, what is the concept, what are the why he will go for the findings of that particular thing. जैसे प्रोग्रामिंग पढ़ा रहे हैं, तो हम कितनी भी थ्योरी पढ़ाएं कि डेटा टाइप इतना होता है, it store this value, you have to follow this syntax and that syntax. But when you perform some activity and then he will do and find some errors, he will rectify that errors, then he will understand, okay, this is the reason I am not able to run the program. So activity is most important. We also do call it experiments, but experiments have some limitations. We can do lot other activities, fun oriented activity, learning activities. And ultimately, after learning this, doing this conceptualization, he will be able to make some applications or make some understanding or how it will be applicable in the real world. What do I do next? Students should be able to think, अब क्या करना है मुझे next. So this way we can enhance our teaching and learning. So I hope this actually 4 blocks is saying the another dimension where we have to think more about activities, so that student will get involved and will get better insight about that particular concepts, and he can have their own thoughts to do it in better way or some higher level to take it to higher level. So now I request my colleague Professor Umesh Gupta to give a case study how we are doing in JK Lakshmipat for the one particular course CDA. Umesh Gupta sir, please can you take over?
Thank you, sir. So am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Fine. So as correctly told by Professor Amit Sinal, right now, so we can do a slideshow. Yeah.
Okay, it's not working.
So
can you share, sir, if you can?
Okay, let me share. Give me a moment.
You first run that slideshow and share.
I'm not able to see the slideshow. Yes, okay, fine. Let me do that. Is it visible?
So it is loading.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now it's visible now. Right. So thank you so much, Professor Sinal. So right now what we are doing is we are running a case of a course that we took at JK Lakshmipati University. Let me set a context. What Professor Sinal said that it is not necessarily that we do a classroom teaching like we were doing in a traditional mode. It has to be based on activities or projects. So we actually took a mentorship from Holland College of Engineering, one of the pioneer on project-based learning. And in 2018, we developed a course called Computational Data Analysis and BTech Computer Science program. That is for all the streams of BTech, but computer science students also applicable on it. If you see the mathematics part in computer science, in general, the most of the institutions they cover the topics like linear algebra, statistics, and mathematics, and of course, in first semester the students start learning programming. So they are taught differently in different semesters. What we have done, we integrated all these three courses: linear algebra, statistics, and programming, and made one course called computational data analysis. If I calculate the number of hours that we spend the entire topics of linear algebra, statistics, and programming, it comes out to be 10 hours per week. So rather than dividing those 10 hours in different topics, different times, the overall course duration became total teaching hours of 10 hours per week. So that become 10 credit course. So if you see the both the things, earlier there were three traditional courses, we combined them and then we redesigned and aligned with experiential learning in the name of computational data analysis. And this course is for all the students who pass their 10+2, that is 10th class, and then join BTech program. That's an entry level course that you can say. Now, the entire part of this, am I able to? Yes. So whenever we design a course, we have to plan everything in advance. So there was a team of 3 people along with the people from Holland College of Engineering. Then we first of all discussed. So the CDA name came very late. Right. So first of all, the importance is what objective is. So whenever we design an objective, we decided an objective like the student should be learning what the linear algebra principles and statistics. And ultimately, the computational analysis should include learning and using Python as a programming language. So this are all objective. But whenever we decided an objective, first of all, we had a frame of program objectives. And those program objectives were in line with I'll say institute vision. So if we say program objective, it is not necessary that whenever we design an objective like course objective, it is completely aligned with all the program objectives, but that should be covering some program objectives. Then our course objective is fulfilled. So the main thing is, if we see this course objective, it was quite an aligned with apply their technical knowledge, complex problem solving and research skills in professional practice, as well as second one. So in this course, we decided that whatever objective we make should be in alignment with the program objective. And trust you me, deciding this itself was a long journey, and that will come a bit later. Now, once we decide an objective, that's a sole objective of the course, we have to, see that if we want to do this course objective, ultimately, what student will be able to do. So how did we do? We decided some outcomes. Now, how many outcomes should be made? Because it should not be very over ambitious program. If you make an over ambitious course, it will be a kind of it will demand more and more contact hours from the students. Of course, the students' limitation is within that 10 hours and within those 20 hours in the at the home. So we should be able to comprehend that what is the level of the students. If they are 10+2, we are taking 10 hours course, then how many outcomes should be? So maximum 9 or 10 outcomes should be there in a 10 hours course. That's what we comprehend. And then we decided some outcomes. If you see these outcomes, this outcome is alignment with the objectives. Write simple Python programs, develop programs using libraries, develop programs to analyze and interpret complex situations in various domains, including sustainable development. Model complex systems, model data as matrices, summarize, visualize different data sets. So the complexity, handling of complexity, problem solving skills, real world problem solving, each and everything is included in this. So therefore, this outcome has to be in align with the objectives. So that's what we did. Now, the focal part is activities. So whatever objectives and outcomes that we mentioned as far as CD is concerned, that was a part of design of the course. That this is what we want to achieve. Now, how to achieve it? So you'll have to, engage the students in some way. And those engagement is in a kind of traditional lectures that you are already doing in theoretical session or some lab sessions like in practicals. But is it enough? So what Professor Sinal that it should be activity based. So we decided some activities. The activities are like group discussions. Activities like presentations. Presentations of what? Whatever they are doing, they need to present. If they are doing assignment, they need to present. If they are doing some, small activity, they need to present. All in-class activities. In-class activities may have some games, may have some contest, maybe may have hackathon kind of situation. All in-class activities are to be there. Then ultimately, since this complete course into data analysis, let them do some project freehand. It is not project after my lectures. Based on my lectures, he should make a project. Rather, he should immediately start working on a particular project and learn while doing those projects. So whenever they will do projects, some challenges will come. When those challenges will come, they will learn some, they will learn some concepts out of it. Once they are able to conceptualize those, then they will be able to apply in the project. So that's what he said. Build activity, reflection, conceptualization, and application. And quizzes, contest, peer learning. Learning is what? Two people are working on different projects. One person is using one concept, another person is using other concept. Both will, exchange their views, their concepts with each other. And this peer learning will really be very useful. In our school days also when we were students, याद है मैथमेटिक्स में क्या करते थे हम? We were saying कि अच्छा चलो let's solve the problem in a group. Whenever we were solving a challenging mathematical program in a group, it was more interesting way and we were able to learn more and more concepts. Second way, what we were doing in our school days, if you remember, we were playing music while solving mathematical problems. So these all things are related to activities and peer learning. That was missing at our school. We were not doing it at the school. We were doing it at our home. Third thing that our teachers used to tell us, beta, if you understand something, teach it to someone else. If I teach that concept or if I discuss that concept with someone else, my concept will get sharpened. That's called peer learning. So that's what we can do now in the class that we were missing in our education days. Some of the activities that we took in CDA. So this is one, when we want to inspire them to write algorithms. The way is what we give some activity sheet and we say that, make an idea and write an algorithm on this. So you can see activity title 1 and activity title 2. The student need to write some big idea out of which what he could complete. So what we are doing, we are giving only this activity statement and some graphic if it is required applicable, and the student has to write an idea out of it, and based on that idea he has to write an algorithm. So this is what you can see. This is what we did in the class, and that was a kind of first 15 days of the class itself. It was not very early, very late. It's just in first 5-7 days. Second thing is, let student learn their own. So if we are doing some, say, lab evaluation to them, if they are doing on HackerRank, then they will be able to see their score there. And so rather than taking them to the lab laboratory and saying, chalo, sit on the system, we are not trusting you, something else. There are enough platforms like HackerRank. There are enough platforms like Slack, on which you can use these tools for active learning, discussion among themselves, doing a lot of projects, and that will help them to grow their own. So let's have a class of the classroom as an opportunity, as a platform, so that they know their own. They learn how they learn how to learn. Fine. Now, mathematical activities. So this was related to programming. Since I'm a maths person, I can say whenever I'm talking about linear algebra, like matrix algebra, whenever we teach matrices, it was a blackboard, this array of numbers of rows and columns and so on. But they were not able to comprehend the real life applications of matrices. So what we did, we gave some activity to them, that go to your home, find out some application, sketch them on paper and bring it. So they were able to find out many applications. Then what we were doing, we were saying that, okay, take some examples of matrices, formulate it and make the graphs, encode and decode the text. No, so that activity is very, very popular and as a part of CDA. And we were saying, okay, code something and then encryption and decryption. So you can see we are introducing them the theory of coding, also through this. Concept mapping. If you see concept mapping, that's very interesting. No, sometimes we do not know whether people have learned or not. Second thing, suppose we finish one, say 1 week or 3 weeks, we completed one concept, like series of concepts integrated with each other. We do not know whether we have what we have done. So generally, what we do in the class, we say, "Acha, ab tak kya kya padh liya batao," and then people used to tell. We are doing it in a different way. We say, "What concepts you have studied?" They write all the concepts. We say, whether you can link those concepts using concept mapping. They do concept mapping. They are in the class itself. So what happens? We actually take a feedback from the students on that concept. The students also learn that these concepts are not independent; they are interlinked with each other. So that's what we do in concept mapping. Similarly, we do a lot of tournaments. We want to we want to tell them that what the basis of a project. So suppose in our course we made sustainable development goal as a focal area. We say that, okay, do a tournament, understand what we are doing. So because whenever we are wanting them to learn concepts and apply it somewhere, they should know the basis area. If they are doing in the finance area, they should know something about finance. If they are doing in the area of accountancy, they should know something about accountancy. If they are from political science, they should know something about political science or public administration and others. So we do tournament in that particular area, like SDG tournament. Then we say that let's do a minor project. So we do team ranking using eigenvalues and eigenvectors. And this team ranking is based on their favorite game. They love cricket, do one cricket. They love football, do one football. So they immediately take an interest in this because they are doing their project work on the sport or movie or something else which they consider the favorite of. So that creates a lot of interest. And then we do say what is normal curve, make histograms and so on. And based on which you compute your own grades, what grades you are going to achieve based on your examination. So everything is connected with their own career, their own hobbies, their own interests. And then ultimately we come to say, okay, let's make a team for the player. For make a team, also there's psychometric analysis and they do a lot of activities, or they do this particular activity to make a team. And then we come to a second project, which is considered a kind of minor project on statistics. And ultimately that project journey comes place. So what project journey says that, first of all, what they did an activity, they ranked the team through matrix algebra, linear algebra. Then they did a second activity that's called one sustainable development goal. They picked and did a statistical analysis. Now we say, whatever concepts you have done, now let's integrate all this. You have learned Python, you have learned of concepts of statistics using project 2, you have learned linear algebra using project 1 and several activities. Now integrate them and make a group project. So that's what the journey is, the entire journey. And if you see the entire journey, the classroom teaching is a part, but very, very minor part of it. It's based on lot of activities, lot of projects, lot of contests and other things. So why we are doing it? So the ultimate aim is a learning, and then you can see the outcome. So this is a poster that students made out of these projects. That's simply 2 we are showing. There are about 100 that people have done so far, and they have picked one zero hunger as a kind of sustainable development goal. So they picked up like clean water and sanitation is one of the course. And whatever they have done is based on computational approach. They use Python programming. They written an objective statement. They learned the concepts like t-test, correlation, power method, descriptive statistics, libraries in Python, and then applied their methodologies, interpreted them, made all these graphs in Python, and they did a lot of coding. It was a kind of 100-page project report on one project that they made in a group, and then they were doing. But ultimately, the aim was what? The aim was to assess them. So how did we? All activities were evaluated. That in terms of assignments with Viva, that in terms of quizzes, that in terms of lab evaluation on HackerRank platform that I mentioned, that based on theory exam also. It is not they are doing everything on computer, nothing learning mathematical concepts on paper. So through quizzes and theory exams, we learn, we say that, okay, enough computer, all right, but ultimately you need to know how to write pen and paper. So they are using pen and paper examination also in this approach. But if you see this pen and paper approach, if you even include quiz, this is of 35 marks only out of 100. 65 marks are based on what they have learned through activities and live things. So that's what we are doing. And one of the very important concept is have transparency. So we had a transparency. Whenever they assign, they are evaluated, immediately the marks are announced to them immediately or periodically, and they know that where they stand and ultimately they can improve. So that's what we have done. So at the end, I can say that if you want to really develop your course, consider yourself as a chef, and then please, decided what ingredients you want, what tools you want to do, so that you can create your recipe like we have done computational data analysis, and I'm proud of this. Thank you so much. Now I'll hand over presentation to Professor Amit Sinal to take it forward to know the framework that we have adopted on this computational data analysis. He's going to focus on that particular framework and discuss with all of you. Thank you. Amit sir, shall I stop sharing so that you can start?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is loading.
So, thank you, Ms. Ji, to explain this case study. So now it is your, we have to learn how we can make our own project so interesting. And of course, as a faculty member, or if you compare yourself as a chef, so how tasty food you want to make. So similarly, how interesting course you want to make. And I know you need a lot of ingredients, means a lot of activities, interesting activities to make student more active, more involved, and they will be feel happy after doing all these activities. I think we have given you, all of you have given a worksheet. Have you worked on that? Can anyone reply? Some of you have already worked on that worksheet. उसमें कुछ ऑब्जेक्टिव लिखवाए थे आपसे, कुछ आउटकम की बात हुई थी, एक्टिविटीज, है ना?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
हाँ,
वर्कशीट
सभी के पास है ना, तो that will be helpful when we finally create our own this chart. And we have actually followed one model that is actually inspired from All-in College of Engineering. We attended the summer school from them. So that was a really interesting part. So here we defined it as a OOAA model. There are 4 terms. O is stand for objectives. Second O is for outcome. Third A is stand for activities, and fourth A is for assessment. So of course, whenever you are proposing a course, you have to think thoroughly about these 4 things. है ना, क्योंकि हम अगर कोर्स चला रहे हैं तो उसके पहले उसकी प्रिपरेशन करते हैं. नॉर्मली इन एकेडमिक्स वी हैव दिस कि कोर्स हम जब सेलेक्ट करते हैं तो वी हैव दैट टाइम. ऑफ कोर्स ऑब्जेक्टिव्स आर सम टाइम अलाइंड विद आवर वी कैन से प्रोग्राम. जैसे हम बीसीए पढ़ा रहे हैं तो बीसीए में ऑफ कोर्स प्रोग्रामिंग आएगा, तो दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट, है ना. और भी सब्जेक्ट्स हैं, ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम, वट एवर यू आर डूइंग. कॉमर्स में, बीकॉम में कॉमर्स ओरिएंटेड सब्जेक्ट हैं जो भी आपके. तो objective will be of course defined by the, you can say, that program or UGC, sometime government authorities or that particular professionals also can give you the कि भाई आप इस कोर्स को पढ़ रहे हो तो उसके ऑब्जेक्टिव हमें मिलेंगे. Then outcomes that we have to work on that. So for that actually faculty has to actually really brainstorm for all these activities. So these are the some picks that I can say we have to do these kind of things that today I am expecting you will also do. I hope you have all this sticky notes, sketch pens, papers, so that you will think thoroughly in a group and come with some good objective of your course. जैसे आपने कोई एक कोर्स तो लिया होगा ना, सभी ने एक एक कोर्स पढ़ा रहे हैं हम जो अभी प्लान कर रहे हैं. तो यू हैव टू थिंक अबाउट द ऑब्जेक्टिव वेरी क्लियर एंड प्रिसाइज मैनर. क्या होता है, ऑब्जेक्टिव भी कई बार बड़ा वेग या ओपन एंडेड होगा तो फिर दैट विल वी आर नॉट एबल टू अचीव. लाइक जैसे गोल्स होते हैं ना, स्मार्ट, दैट शुड बी स्पेसिफिक, मेजरेबल, रियलिस्टिक एंड अचीवेबल, टाइम बाउंड. तो सिमिलरली वी हैव टू डिसाइड दीज पर्टिकुलर स्मार्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव फॉर पर्टिकुलर कोर्स. तो उसके लिए थोड़ा सा आपको मतलब टाइम भी लगेगा, और दिस इज नॉट 1% and we prefer in these kind of learning there should be more than one faculty members. Just we are demonstrating also this even workshop we are conducting two faculties. So sometime in our classes 3 faculties are also there if it is a big number of class. So that actually really helps to students, and as a faculty we are always there to support them and work collaboratively. So this is the way we actually exercised and identify the objectives. Now, how to actually identify the object? Of course, our course objective should always align with the program objective. As I told you, like in BCA का overall purpose क्या है आपका BCA program का? To make student इंडस्ट्री रेडी. यदि हम चाह रहे हैं कि बीसीए करने के बाद चाहे तो वो एक छोटा सा मतलब एक इंडस्ट्री में जो प्रोग्रामिंग डेवलपर की पोस्ट होती है, ही कैन ज्वाइन. तो फॉर दैट ही हैज टू लर्न ऑल द फंडामेंटल्स ऑफ कंप्यूटर्स, हार्डवेयर, सॉफ्टवेयर, प्रोग्रामिंग, और उसकी डिटेल में जाना पड़ेगा ना, जो भी टूल्स हम यूज करते हैं. So we have to then divide these program into some particular semesters, and each semester will have some courses या subjects, right? And each subject will have some specific objective. तो आपने कोई ना कोई एक ऑब्जेक्ट, एक कोर्स सेलेक्ट किया हुआ है, राइट? So that should be aligned with the institute vision. हाँ, मतलब प्रोग्राम्स का ऑब्जेक्टिव जो है पर अल्टीमेटली इंस्टीट्यूट के विजन से वो अलाइन होगा कि we are actually aim to produce good technocrats or whatever it is. Institute vision have very broad thing. Program objective has very we can say a specific objective regarding the program, and course objective has very more, you can say, specific to that particular course. Now we have like this framework. OOA can be used for these curricular design as a tool, and it will give you a improved course. Of course, you have already course curriculum provided by the university, and I actually assume that your college, Sri Sathya Sai College for Women, is autonomous, so you have some autonomy to design your own course. Am I right? So that is the purpose, so that you can improve your course, existing course. You can make some curricular change, and also you can get really positive student outcome. That is the ultimate objective. If students are happy and they will really learn, that is the ultimate purpose of teaching, right? So how to work on that objective? I think anyone can give one objective? Moderator, do you have any one course and its objective?
Sir, just a minute. I'll ask somebody else.
Any course, any objective, 1 or 2 lines. It's not very detailed. Or any other participant can read if they prepared this, whoever joined. Yes.
So please repeat your question.
Yeah, I just want to know any one of you who have prepared the objective, course objective that we have given in the sheet. Refer the sheet, worksheet.
Yes, sir. एक minute.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
I am Dr. Purnima Joshi here. सर मेरा जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है तो मैंने सब्जेक्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव लिया हुआ है दैट इज कॉर्पोरेट अकाउंटिंग के ऊपर कि स्टूडेंट्स आर एबल टू नो अबाउट द प्रोसीजर ऑफ कंपनी अकाउंटिंग और कॉर्पोरेट अकाउंटिंग. दिस इज माय फर्स्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव. Second is students are able to know the accounting standards related to companies. And third one is students are able to know.
So I think this is actually outcomes, but general objective, general. What is your course name? What is your course?
BCom.
BCom is the program. आप subject क्या है आपका? Subject.
Corporate accounting.
Accounting.
Yeah.
Corporate accounting. Okay. So overall, what is your objective?
To learn how companies are maintaining their accounting record.
Correct. This is our overall objective.
Yeah.
Correct. So I think this
Excuse
is.
me, I'm muting all participants. अमित सर और पूर्णिमा मैम आप लोग अनम्यूट कर लीजिएगा. मैं सभी को एक बार म्यूट कर दूंगा.
Yeah. So I think as madam told in the subject of accounting, overall objective is to actually student will be able to learn the
how companies are maintaining their accounting records.
Right. Companies record कैसे बना रहे हैं इसका पर्पस. ठीक है. तो it is very good way. Now next step is we have to identify the outcomes.
Students are able to know about the procedure of company accounting.
Very good. Yeah.
Then second objective is students are able to know the accounting standards related to companies.
Yeah, this is very
And third one is students are able to know the sanctions as per Companies Act 2013.
Okay. Okay. So it is latest or maybe there are some more acts?
Latest, sir.
Okay. 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 Okay, I think sufficient. Everyone understood what way we can expect the outcomes, and it was what was our broad objective of that course. What are the expected outcome? It may be, of course, 2, 3, 4, 5. Depends on actually hours or weekly hours. How much you are taking? Suppose you are taking 5 classes a week, so at least 5 objectives should be there. Yes. This is a not very rigid rule. It is a general rule. If we are taking 5 classes in a week, so 5 objectives should be good enough. Right? Yeah. So what are the things we have to keep in mind? It should be simple and condensed, right? We should not overlap or repeat. Sometimes what happens, we are writing one objective, some of the part is overlapping or repeating the second objective. It should not like that. It should be very clear. It should be explicit, and we have to understand the detail. And of course, we cannot do everything in that, so we have to prioritize. And what way we can do, so we have to produce a minimal set of unique independent outcomes, and we have to arrange in order of importance. So that is the best way. As madam given a very good example of their outcomes. That was objective of that accounting course and what are the expectations from the students. So I think this part we already do, right? But sometime as a teacher, we do not remember during the teaching. We follow syllabus. Am I right? We generally focus on what? Our syllabus contents. Not we sometimes we forget these objectives and outcomes. So that we have to be strict. That's what that is the purpose of today's workshop. How we have to be strict on these and how we achieve these outcomes. Ultimately, we should achieve the outcomes. To achieve these outcomes, we have to actually plan some activities. Each outcome should have at least one activity, maybe more than one activity. जैसे भी मैडम ने बताया कि आप student will do the accounting for the particular some companies. So उसके लिए आप activity क्या करेंगे? Can anyone or someone can give the idea? What will the student do to achieve your learning outcomes? तो suppose पहला outcome हमने जो लिया है, उसके लिए क्या activity होगी? एक activity.
सर अगर हम लोग मतलब कंप्यूटर्स में आई थिंक ये इजी होता है क्योंकि जब भी कोई प्रोग्राम है हमारे पास, मतलब अगर हम इफ एल्स फॉर कुछ सिखा रहे हैं तो उसके लिए हमारे पास पूरा एक प्रोग्राम होता है बच्चों के पास, माइंड बॉगलिंग एक्सरसाइजेस वही हमारे पास अवेलेबल है।
मतलब वो तो आपने देखो एक तरह से लैब एक्सरसाइज है जिसमें एग्जांपल्स दिए हुए हैं, वो एक्टिविटी करेंगे। बट वी शुड थिंक सम लाइव एक्टिविटीज। लाइव
अकाउंटिंग में सर अकाउंटिंग में हम बच्चों को जो एनुअल रिपोर्ट्स होती है वो एनालाइज करने के लिए दे सकते हैं। कंपनी की जो
देखो एनुअल रिपोर्ट बच्चा कहाँ से लाएगा?
वो उसको डाउनलोड करेगा सर।
हाँ, दैट शुड बी फ्रॉम ऑथेंटिक सोर्स। मतलब हम डमी नहीं, रियल जैसे किसी कंपनी की रिपोर्ट ऑनलाइन है उनके पोर्टल पे, दे विल डाउनलोड। वेरी गुड। तो उससे उसको एक आइडिया होगा कि कंपनी में कैसे बनती है, देन ही विल एनालाइज। दिस इज द रियली अ गुड एक्टिविटी, है ना? तो ऐसे और भी एक्टिविटी अपने अपने कोर्स में आप प्लान कर सकते हैं, राइट? बट इट शुड बी अलाइंड विद योर आउटकम। जैसे आपने 3 आउटकम बनाए या 4 बनाए या 5 बनाए, तो हर आउटकम से कम एक एक्टिविटी हो, एक से ज्यादा एक्टिविटी हो तो और अच्छा है। इट डिपेंड्स ऑन योर आवर्स ना, कितना टाइम है आपके पास एंड हाउ यू कैन असाइन देम। और जरूरी नहीं सभी एक्टिविटी क्लास में हो, ये भी हम देखेंगे अभी। वी विल सी द एग्जांपल्स ऑफ एक्टिविटी एंड वी कैन डू एक्टिविटीज आउटसाइड द क्लास आल्सो। So this is the actually things. What are the thoughts about the activities? So first thing is who will do the activity? Of course, who will do the activity? Student alone, or in team we can do. Sometimes activity cannot be done alone. We can make a group. That is a good option. In collaboratively they will learn and do. So in teams they can do. Some visitors can do. Means as a visitor they will go and do it, or in community they will. Okay, so in how are you able to understand like how they can do the activities in community? Community means in a group outside the our campus or somewhere. Now next is what activity, what's the plan? Are your direction clear? Means whenever you are planning an activity, everything should be planned and your direction should be clear. Otherwise student will confuse, they will not be able to actually understand and do the activity properly and the purpose will not be fulfilled. Where it is also important. Normally we think teaching means classroom. It's not like that. We can teach them through the activity in which field trip is there. We can take them outside, show some things like madam is telling the accounting. We can visit to some really industry and their account department, how the account department is working, how they are doing. We can do it decentralized. Decentralized means distributed way. Some students in a group are doing here, some are going for the survey, some are going outside, or in the whole campus, not in class but in our campus, college campus, we can do the activities. Okay, then of course, when we should do in class time also we can do. Sometimes small activity in classroom we can perform. Sometimes we can give them as a homework. Like they will come and do the activity and showcase in the classroom again as a homework. Common time Sometime we can choose the common time. There is library period, lunch period. Then we can ask them to do in that common time, or in their own independently they can. Now, why this is important, or why we are doing this? Because it should be aligned with the outcomes, and that is very important. No activity should not having like alignment with the outcome. Of course, that is the purpose. The outcome should be fulfilled, and how we can do autonomous way, or in a group, or in diverse way. So this is the different kind of like things that we can do the activities. Now we will see the examples. So this is one of the activity normally we commonly use. Homework we generally give in our normal teaching things, or we sometimes give the in-class assignments. You just do and perform this. So this is very common, and that is sometimes required. So that what is the outcome of this? They will have a content mastery. They will be able to write the things about that, skill building. Another activity is laboratory, that also we commonly do, and that they get hands-on skill building of anything and data analysis. Okay, this is the common activity. Now there are some open-ended projects you can give. Open-ended projects mean you can assign some tasks and they will perform within a 3-4 days, 1 week, 2 week, whatever it is. So in a group. So then they will learn teamwork, lifelong learning, because when they perform in a group, they will remember it. Lifelong learning will improve, will be there. Communication will improve between the groups and other groups. They learn planning and other things. So this is the purpose of doing this open-ended projects. You can organize a field trip, site visits, off-campus presentations, so that student will be able to content and contextual exposure. They will understand the real world application with that particular course. So these are the way we can actually make more experiential learning, and that will be actually lifelong. And yeah, it's very important. We can do the activity with community and user group. So of course, as like in accounting course, we can do with the industry people and all, who is the really end user. In computer science also, we can organize some discussions or some trips with the not only industry, software development companies, but also the end user. Suppose you are planning to make a software for some elderly people. So you should go to some elderly care center and ask them, what are your problems? What are your difficulties? Can I make some program or application that will help you? So this is the way they can learn and ultimately learn better way of that particular part, right? So these are some examples. Now we come to the most important as a teacher, because ultimately as a faculty we have to grade them, because all students are attending the classes. We have make it fun oriented. Attendance will improve. They will involve in activities, because we are doing a lot of different kind of activities. But problem is that how we assess them. It is very important, because we have to grade them as our requirement is there. We have to generate the mark sheet, grade sheet. We have to mark them. So in standard universities, there are simply some theory exam and some lab exam. But now you have done a lot of activities, then you can develop your different ways of assessment. So activities are directly aligned with the assessment. You can even grade each and every activity, or some of the activity you can not grade. That is just for learning. So how student activities or outcomes are evaluated and how feedback is offered, that is very important in the assessment component. So there are many examples, like homework we can do as assessment. Jisne time se homework kiya hai, we will give 5 marks. Exams we can give some short answers type of exams. We can give the ye to hota hi hai, written exam we take. Presentation we can ask, analytical papers we can ask to write, peer reviews. then photo submission, video submission. Now we can do. We can ask them to prepare a video for that. जैसे आपने कोई एक्टिविटी की, उसमें आप उनसे बोलिए कि prepare a video. Each student has to prepare a 2-minute video and then submit. We can submit their views on some Amazon.com, Wikipedia. So there are now many platforms on which they can submit and get the feedback from outside world, right? So these are the very community feedback also we can get if they are doing something, and we can get the feedback from people. So it is a good component of assessment. अगर अच्छा feedback है तो वो अच्छा काम हुआ है, अगर उसमें कोई improvement करना है तो they will learn and they will improve. So this is the example of assessment. But as a faculty, we have very limited choice, especially in our this academia. But you have to think how you can broaden these assessment kind of things. Now this OA model framework can be applied. There are 3 levels at curricular program, means overall program पे भी apply कर सकते हो. मतलब आपने BCA या जो भी आपका BCom program है उस पे apply कर सकते हो कि overall BCA का objective क्या है, what are the outcome we are expecting after completion of this whole 3-year course BCom, then what are general activities we should conduct, and what are the assessment components. Then we divide into course level. In each semester, each year, how many subjects are there, and each subject will have their own objective, outcome, assessment. And one more level we can divide. If you are doing some project within a course, in that also you can decide objective, outcome, activities, and assessment. So it depends on your time and team, how the team is working. So that will really give you surprising results and outcomes. If you, as a faculty members, you will work in a team, think, brainstorm about these activities, assessment method. You can evolve, you can develop a new assessment method that will make a student more actually involved and connected. क्योंकि देखो जब तक आप मार्क्स को नहीं जोड़ोगे ना किसी एक्टिविटी में तो बच्चों को एक इंटरेस्ट नहीं आता है. उसको थोड़ा गेमिफाई करना पड़ेगा ना कि जो पहले करेगा उसको इतने नंबर मिलेंगे, जो इसको इस तरह से करेगा, अच्छे से करेगा, उसको ज्यादा नंबर मिलेंगे. That is actually gamification. So based on this gamification, they will take interest in that activity, and ultimate purpose of activities they will learn, and it will fulfill our outcome. हमने जो आउटकम सेट किया है वो तभी फुलफिल होगा जब उसको एक्टिविटी को वो अच्छे से करेंगे. अच्छे से करने के लिए हमें उन्हें कुछ मोटिवेशन भी रखना होगा. मोटिवेशन कैन बी ऑफ डिफरेंट काइंड, बट वन ऑफ द इम्पोर्टेंट मोटिवेशन इन एकेडमिक इज मार्क्स. तो आप उसमें कुछ मार्क्स जोड़ दो, राइट? जब मार्क्स रहेंगे तो बच्चे उसके लिए वो इंटरेस्ट से करेंगे, और दैट वी हैव टू टेक वेरी वाइजली with the discussion of student also. We can involve deciding the component of these assessment student also, not even faculty but student. So finally we start with objectives, then we write the outcomes, then we decide the activities which can serve multiple outcomes, and then assessment. Assessment may be formative or summative. I hope you know about that, formative assessment and summative assessment. So we generally follow formative. Summative actually is at the end term only, but as a continuous assessment is always better. Are you agree? Like if we do regular activities and assess them, so that student will be happy, he has done a good job, he got at least 10 out of 8 or something, that marks. Then next activity he will get some marks. Instead of giving the final exam of 100 marks, so he will not involve, he will put his effort at the end. ऐसे ही होता है ना, जब हम कोई थ्योरी पेपर है तो सीधे 100 नंबर का आखिरी में एग्जाम ही देना है.
Yes sir.
Will you get interest?
No.
ठीक है, पेपर आएगा तब देखेंगे 100 नंबर का, पढ़ लेंगे 60-70 तो आ ही जाएंगे हमारे, या और हमारे अच्छा हमारा मतलब we can.
No sir, we do have the CC procedure, continuous completion.
Correct. That's why formative assessment is always better, but now you link that assessment with the activities so that they will be more involved and be learning will be more better. And alignment is important. Alignment means objective को outcome से align करना है, outcome को activities से align करना है, और activities को assessment से align करना है, और finally पूरा एक जो इस तरह का जो बना हुआ है that we have to follow. Okay, so I hope I able to explain you the things. Now it is your turn and you have to perform these activities. And आपके पास worksheet तो तैयार है ना सभी के पास? All of you have worksheet ready in a group or individual?
Yes, sir, we do have all individually.
Okay, so now Dr. Umesh will actually give you this how to prepare this worksheet. Dr. Umesh?
Yes,
please.
sir. Thank you. And whenever we are talking about assessment, so let me add on this. So sometimes we understand with continuous evaluation, midterm 1, midterm 2, and then assignment and so on. But when Professor Sinil was talking about activity-based assessment, it means what? That whatever student is doing in the class, that has to be assessed. So in our college system, if you see, there are internal marks and external marks. We say 20 marks internal, 80 marks external, and those 80 marks are also divided by midterm 1, midterm 2, and term. But that is also not continuous evaluation. So continuous evaluation is whatever activity people are doing, that's planned, and then that is being evaluated. 2 marks, 1 mark, every activity, every assignment. Some are ungraded, but everything else is graded. So that's a continuous evaluation where we are evaluating each and every activity of the student, and that becomes a continuous evaluation. Otherwise, if we say that test 1, test 2, and term and quiz, they are 4 components. That's all, and their period is decided. It will be in the first week, this will be in 15 days, and so on. Then that is also not a continuous evaluation. Continuous evaluation means it has to be continuous in nature. So, so that particular thing is quite like it's a myth of the continuous evaluation. One has to take care. Now, as Professor Sinal shared, let me take you to your turn on this. So all of you are having a A4 size sheet with some sticky notes, something else, sketch pen, something else. So organizers can tell whether they have provided that to the participants or they have brought. सबके पास है क्या?
Yes, sir, we all do have.
तो अभी क्या करना है? Like we need to make this chart. So whatever A4 size you have sheet, make a chart like this. So this is called OOAA chart, where a course of subject title, there's the author, and then there are like 4 quadrants in that chart. First quadrant is objective, second quadrant is outcomes, third quadrant is activities, and fourth one is assessments. So this is what you have already done there at your home. But now what you can do is, you can further refine it. And further, after refining it, write in the objectives, outcomes, activities, and assessments. Now we have described what activity is. No, it is not simply quiz, simply assignment. Activity is something hands-on. So how we are doing it, and then assessment. Assessment is also not like quiz, midterm 1, midterm 2, and so on. Those assignments can also be innovatively applied. So how would you do this? First of all, please make this chart. Now, let me give you an example of this. You may have some sticky notes. So suppose you have an idea कि objective में ये आना चाहिए, वो आना चाहिए, and then write on a sticky note, put in the place of objectives. Similarly, second and third. If you don't have a sticky note, you can even write a sketch pen thing also. But the disadvantage with sketch pen is that you cannot remove it. Therefore, sticky note will be a better idea. So you put on as objectives. When you have too many objectives, there are 3 objectives that are written there, but actually you need to write only 1 objective. So you write all 3, 4, 5 sticky notes, and at the end, when you are discussing with others, you'll say, okay, I'll remove it, I'll integrate it, I'll realign it. Ultimately, it becomes 1 objective. Similarly, outcomes. So whatever number of hours you are teaching in a week, ultimately you'll need to consider that teaching hours kind of the number of outcomes that you can make. So it's a 3 hours a week, and you should have maximum 2 or say maximum 3 outcomes, exceptionally 4, and then come to activities, and finally then assessment. This is how you can make a chart. Make a kind of draw a chart over there, put some sticky notes and objectives, outcomes, activities, and assessments. And in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can discuss or ask. So is it all right? Do you have any question on this activity?
Yeah, this blank sheet you can take, or you can draw on the blank.
Yes, you can draw. Of course, you can.
I think it's very easy. Just divide this 4 parts and write this 4 quadrants: objective, outcome, activities, and assessment. And you already have one sheet, na, that homework you have already done. उसी से आप इसके पॉइंट वाइज लिखिए और इसमें थोड़ा सा कलरफुल आप स्टिकी नोट्स यूज कर सकते हैं. और इवन यू कैन डू इन अ ग्रुप. 2 लोग 2-3 लोग जो सेम कोर्स पढ़ाते हैं या सिमिलर फील्ड के हैं, they can just discuss and put the things.
Meanwhile, if you have any question, you can ask. We are there.
Now, while doing, if you have any questions or confusion, please ask and try to prepare a good course. Later also, you can improve it.
And you can do it in a group also. If you think that not individually, I would like to team up with 1 or 2 people. In fact, team is also like very, very important. So if you are able to, so you can see our approach. We both are teaching. We both teach that CDA course together. We go to the class. We discuss with each other. So one computer science person and math person are going there and teaching one course together. So similarly, you can also team up and say that we too will be teaching this course together. So that's how you can.
One important aspect you can take, like multidisciplinary. Suppose commerce faculty can take help, can include one computer teacher. So in accountancy, you can include some part on which some tool you can show them the student, because when they will go in industry now, they have to use some package, accounting package. तो आप उसको थोड़ा सा इंडस्ट्री ओरिएंटेड बनाइए. जैसे कंपनीज के लिए आप अकाउंटिंग सिखा रहे हैं, तो अभी तो आप मैनुअल सिखाएंगे. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
तो उसमें आप कोशिश करिए कि उसको इनोवेटिव बनाओ कि भाई कंपनी में हम गए वहां तो वो टैली यूज कर रहे हैं या उनका खुद का पैकेज है, तो एटलीस्ट वी कैन पुट सम पार्ट एज ए प्रोजेक्ट कि भाई ठीक है सब बच्चे अब एक एक प्रोजेक्ट बनाएंगे और उसमें वो एक सैंपल प्रोजेक्ट, सैंपल कोई सा भी सम पैकेज दे विल यूज और ये एंट्रीज रहेंगी, वो उसको उसमें कन्वर्ट करना है. सो इट इज नॉट कंप्यूटर साइंस कोर्स, इट इज एक्चुअली अकाउंटेंसी कोर्स. Are you agree, ma'am? Especially those who designed this accountancy course. Means you have to make it multidisciplinary. ऐसे फिजिक्स वाले चाहें तो कुछ उसमें ऐड कर सकते हैं, इकोनॉमिक्स वाले अपना कुछ अलग ऐड कर सकते हैं.
इनफैक्ट इकोनॉमिक्स और मैथ्स वाले मिलके पढ़ा सकते हैं. इकोनॉमिक्स में बहुत मैथ्स यूज आती है, तो वह इकोनॉमिक्स और मैथ्स वाले सुन के पढ़ेंगे तो मैथ्स की एप्लीकेशन इकोनॉमिक्स में नजर आएगी. सो दैट इज आल्सो अ थिंग दैट यू कैन डू.
जब एक से ज्यादा टीचर इन्वॉल्व होते हैं ना, तो रियली वी गेट सम न्यू थिंग्स और स्टूडेंट्स को भी एक अलग एक्सपीरियंस आता है. वी हैव मोर देन वन टीचर, दे आर सपोर्टिंग अस और डिफरेंट थॉट प्रोसेस भी आते हैं. एक्टिविटीज भी आप प्लान कर सकते हो, नई नई कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ दीज टू. मतलब थोड़ा ट्रेडिशनल से हटके जाना है हमें, कुछ इनोवेटिव उसमें कंपोनेंट डालने हैं और जो हम देख रहे हैं रियल लाइफ में यूज हो रहे हैं, जो सब्जेक्ट हम पिछले 10 साल से पढ़ा रहे हैं पर उसको रियल लाइफ में कुछ अलग तरीके से यूज हो रहा है, तो वी कैन इंक्लूड दैट कंपोनेंट. यस, एनी क्वेरीज और एनी सच?
I think they all are engaged in doing the things.
Yeah,
everybody is doing mind modeling.
Yeah, that is good.
That's what we want. So we will stop now. Let us.
Sir, please share that screen in which we are having one example.
Yes.
Okay, can we share this one particular sheet to them in soft copy also? They can do, na? Let me share this one particular sheet as a.
You can put on the WhatsApp group, but people those who are offline will not be able to. So they can draw, sir. If they'll draw.
They can draw.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am Dr. Megha Singh from Department of English, sir. So I have few things to share with related to my subject. Like we have the course and the subject title as we have discussed. The course is BA and the subject we teach is English literature. Then the classes per week as we get is 6 classes a week.
Okay.
All right. Then objective that we have decided is like in general, because we teach 4 genres in literature: poetry, drama, fiction, and prose. So what I have framed is the objective of in general what we teach in literature. What is the objective of taking literature into the syllabi? That is, understand various forms and aspects of literature, expand creativity and enrich the vocabulary in a delightful manner. Then the outcomes, appreciate the morality and humanity, which is very much the need of the hour. Improve the understanding of different genres of literature. Then to develop critical thinking and understand various aspects and forms of literature. Activities that we generally do and we propose to do is the brainstorming exercise, that is generally before the introduction of a topic. Before teaching any topic, we do certain brainstorming exercises with the title or the author, these things. Then the storytelling, which we generally do with the short stories and the fiction that we teach. Presentation is one of the important techniques to enhance their communicative skills, their listening skills and speaking skills. Then the role play, which we generally apply with the drama. It can be applied to other forms also, but generally we prefer using it with the drama and the fiction. SWOT analysis, sir, which I particularly feel the literature can play a very vital role in this. When you tell a story to a student and if you evaluate a character, how the strength in the character resembles you, what are the weaknesses that resembles you, what are the opportunities in front of you, and the challenges as well. Then the creative writing, of course, that is an indispensable part of literature that we take as an activity. And assessment, we have the chart posters as discussed, assignments in the written form so that we can assess their writing skills, how much they're able to write after understanding. Then the quiz, of course, and the objective type questionnaire, so that what is the kind of, whether they had done the intensive study or the selective study to assess that, and the presentation, of course. So this is how we have done it and we plan to do it.
That's really good. Amit sir, can I speak?
Yeah.
So one thing that you can add in assessment is class participation. You know, in your this particular course, participation in the class is very, very important. So
yes, that we do, sir. That is in the form of group discussions, and when we ask them to give their inputs on the brainstorming, we form these groups. That is a group activity only that we do.
So that assessments part I'm talking about. In assessments, you can, like you added quizzes, you can assign assignment and the presentation. If you add class participation, then each and everything will be monitored. So class participation include all those activities that you are doing. Students can assess that. You can assess that gradually, and you will say, if this student participated in the class really very excited way, this student was bit this. But one more question that I have from you, as far as your course is concerned, do you consider yourself, what is the role that fit in this course for you, as a teacher, as a moderator, or as a mentor?
Sir, a teacher has to play all the 3 roles, sir.
Yeah, but in this course, I'm talking about specifically in this course, what role you will play as a teacher? Of course, we all are teachers, and of course we need to teach.
So
what
the ultimate
primary role that you play? Moderator, mentor, or teacher?
Sir, all the 3 roles, of course, we have to play, but the ultimate objective is to develop the critical thinking in the student.
So why
you have to act.
Yeah. Why I asked this question? I think you have wonderfully designed it and really appreciated. So the thing is, when you are doing all those group discussions, you know, brainstorming sessions, presentations, you know, storytelling sessions, then in the entire thing, I am not planning anything to teach. No,
I would say that a small little star mark, na, terms and conditions apply. So
Yes.
the kind of stuff that we have to actually say customize ourselves as a teacher. We have to play different roles at various situations depending upon the kind of stuff that we have in front of us.
So I think it's a wonderfully designed. Thank you so much, Amit sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it is really explained the way you are doing. Activities are very well defined. Of course, how to do execution you can improve. Like nowadays, this modern technology, some tools you can use to do this task. Like stories, everyone is telling, and if we have limited time, we can do it some way. Other way, we can ask them to record and submit, or other ways. Means we can how we can implement or execute, that depends on your like availability of time, and you can use multiple technologies. So that is the thing. Otherwise, you are really have a good way of. So is it? Are you really doing, or you have planned? This is already implementing. Ma'am?
I think she has.
Okay, yeah.
So we actually have implemented it. हम लोगों के कॉलेज में इसी टाइप की practices
Very good. बस उसको थोड़ा सा और क्वांटिफाई करना है ना. आपके पास कुछ लिमिटेशंस भी होती होंगी कि थ्योरी 60 नंबर या 70 नंबर का रखना है, तो फिर
yes that is
उसको हमको रिड्यूस करना चाहिए, अगर मतलब रियली अगर लर्निंग बढ़ानी है.
Sir, we are already doing it. We are already doing it, and with NEP, few things have become mandatory for us to do. So we as teacher are learner these days. We are learning, and we are learning by doing, and doing by learning. It is both ways, sir.
This is great.
So developing a course itself is a learning now. So
I've shared that sheet on the WhatsApp group. Are everyone able to receive? But
any other course, if any other faculty member who has designed a new course like based on yesterday's and today's activity, thought of something else but they have not done so far, if any such example that can come up, maybe in a vague idea, not completely, that we have not done so far but something new that we have thought of, if any.
You can share, please share the experience, this new thing we can do, because this is the innovations in teaching learning. So we have given one point, but I think as a teacher, all of you have some innovations. और हमने कोविड के टाइम में तो बहुत सारे इनोवेशन किए हैं लोगों ने ऑनलाइन में, but how it is utilized now in this hybrid mode or fully physical mode? Can anyone share some innovation?
I think they are busy with the activities, so let them.
Yeah.
मेरी तरफ से पूछना कि है ना, अगर पॉडकास्टिंग है या फिर है ना मल्टीमीटर में अप्लाई करना चाहते हैं.
Now
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I would like to apply podcasting and Mentimeter practices. कैसे करेंगे सर आप बताइए?
Forecasting and
Mentimeter.
Okay. So actually what you need, what basic data, what you need for this? You just tell. Yeah.
सर पॉडकास्टिंग जो है एक्चुअली है ना, ये एक ऑडियो रिकॉर्डिंग टूल है, आई थिंक सो. सो उसको कैसे उसको प्रैक्टिस में लाना, वो मुझे सीखना है एक्चुअली. तो हम उसको है ना मतलब पॉडकास्टिंग में उसको अपलोड कर देंगे, स्टूडेंट विल लर्न दैट. सुन सकते हैं, समझ सकते हैं.
Yeah. So that actually अभी I think lot of people are doing this. वो अपने इस तरह के experiences share करते हैं and they upload it. So, like, how you want to use and what is the interest?
Actually,
yeah.
सर मुझे जितना पता है कि हम पॉडकास्टिंग में ना अपने ऑडियो रिकॉर्डिंग्स को अपलोड कर देंगे एंड स्टूडेंट से शेयर करेंगे, वो लर्न कर सकते कहीं पर भी हो।
ठीक है, वो तो है ही, वो तो कर सकते हैं, बट मतलब उसको एज एक्टिविटी बनाना चाह रहे हैं कि एक टीचिंग मटेरियल देना चाह रहे हैं आप उसे, सप्लीमेंट
टीचिंग मटेरियल।
हाँ, so that is a good idea for the actually as a teacher if we are able to do this, so that is a great thing. हम वैसे वीडियो कंटेंट बनाते हैं, वैसे ही पॉडकास्ट कर दें ताकि बच्चे उसको कहीं भी बैठ के सिर्फ सुन लें, they don't need to actually see all the things. So that of course useful in some of the cases.
One thing you can do with podcasting, what Amit sir is saying is providing the teaching material. At the same time, what you can say, like we can make it a kind of discussion forum. You know, so suppose you took a concept. Say, I'll take an example of economics. So I'll say, okay, let me tell you that one Amartya Sen has provided this kind of principle of economics. Now, this principle of economics you have already podcasted. Now you are asking students to give some inputs on this, or their experiences, or their interpretation out of this concept, and they can also upload podcast. So what will happen? Whatever you are doing, you are taking the students from back, and their learning is taken place. And then based on that, you can really do an assessment as well. So it can be both sides. It can become a discussion forum using podcasting. So that's also a possibility that you can have. To add on to that, Amit sir, so teaching and learning both will take place. So that's a possibility. Amit sir, is it correct?
Yeah. That we can do. Additionally, we can do a lot of things, but ultimately, like how students are using it and making it interesting. Yes, some more idea or some more thoughts about some innovations? So typically, how you divide your marks? Like, what is your typical assessment scheme, ma'am? In general?
So 70-30.
70-30. So 70 you cannot do anything.
No, 70 is externally. They
means
70 for theory and they for examination.
But
30 for internal CC.
So in 30 at least you can do a lot of things. Yeah.
70 is by university that you are like all you. That 70 is also the part of yours.
ऐसे ऑटोनोमस तो आपके पास है ना, 70 मार्क्स नहीं है?
नहीं सर, 70 मार्क्स के भी हमारे पास थ्योरेटिकल एग्जामिनेशंस होंगे, तो वो तो फाइनली चेक बाहर से ही होंगे, लेकिन 30 मार्क्स के लिए हमारे पास फुल फ्रीडम है एंड उसमें भी हमारे पास एक्चुअली 4 CCs हम ले सकते हैं एंड बेस्ट ऑफ 3 हम लोग मार्क्स देते हैं बच्चों को, तो हम लोग 4 एक्टिविटीज तो हर सब्जेक्ट में करते ही करते हैं।
नहीं तो सीसी भी जरूरी है थ्योरी हो, मतलब सीसी को भी आप इस तरह के कुछ प्रोजेक्ट एक्टिविटी बेस कर सकते हैं। सीसी कितने मार्क्स के होते हैं? सीसी मतलब
30 मार्क्स के 10 मार्क्स की,
तो वो उसी में आ गया ना 10 मार्क्स का, तो वो रिटर्न जरूरी नहीं है कि रिटर्न ही होना चाहिए?
नो सर, उसमें हम ये एक्टिविटीज ही करते हैं, समटाइम प्रेजेंटेशंस होते हैं, पोस्टर मेकिंग कॉम्पिटिशन्स होते हैं,
यस
चार्ट मेकिंग भी होती है, सब असाइनमेंट्स होते हैं, फॉलोड बाय वाइवा होता है,
राइट
मॉडल आल्सो, समटाइम क्लासरूम टीचिंग आल्सो।
ओके या सो या तो ये तो है, तो इसको थोड़ा सा आप और इनोवेटिव करिए, इसमें यू कैन इंक्लूड मोर देन 1 फैकल्टी मेंबर्स, जिसमें थोड़ा सा इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी, जैसे मैंने एग्जांपल लिया कि कुछ अगर आप टूल के बारे में बता पाए, उसमें भाई अभी कॉमर्स में आप पढ़ा रहे हैं, पर उसमें अगर कोई मार्केट में उस सब्जेक्ट के लिए कोई ऑलरेडी सॉफ्टवेयर अवेलेबल है, टूल अवेलेबल है, उसको आप इंक्लूड कर लें। केमिस्ट्री में कर सकते हैं, फिजिक्स में कर सकते हैं।
यस सर, रिसेंटली अभी हम लोगों ने कंप्यूटर्स में दिया था बच्चों को असाइनमेंट टेम्पलेट डिजाइनिंग का यूजिंग टूल्स।
तो ये तो कंप्यूटर साइंस का ही है, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ, ये तो कंप्यूटर साइंस का ही है। आपको इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी बात।
नो सर, ये टेम्पलेट डिजाइनिंग activity organized by the Department of Computer Science, but it is open for all faculty students.
Okay.
When BA, BCom, all students participated in it.
नहीं, बट वो फिर किसी कंपोनेंट नहीं था, ये तो एक्टिविटी हो गई अलग से, एक यूनिवर्सिटी कॉलेज की एक्टिविटी हो गई ना।
यस,
इसको आपने किसी में कंसीडर किया था, किसी कोर्स के पार्ट में?
नो सर।
हाँ, तो ये एक्चुअली क्या होता है बच्चों को, इसमें क्या होता है फिर आधे बच्चे आएंगे आधे नहीं आएंगे जब आपके कोर्स का
इट इज कंसिडर एज अ FCCC असाइनमेंट, पार्ट ऑफ CC।
हाँ, पार्ट ऑफ सीसी होना चाहिए, मतलब
Yes,
जो भी
sir.
आप कर रहे हैं, तो दैट विल बी एक्चुअली मोटिवेट ना, कि भाई उनको पता है कि ये करना है, इससे मार्क्स भी मिल रहे हैं और इससे हमारा एक लर्निंग आउटकम फुलफिल हो रहा है।
Yes.
तो बोथ वे इट इज यूजफुल फॉर ए फैकल्टी आल्सो एंड स्टूडेंट आल्सो।
अच्छा, अमित सर ने जितना कहा उसके अंदर मैं एक और ऐड करता हूँ। देखिए, अभी है ना, ट्रेडिशनली फॉर ऑटोनॉमस कॉलेज लाइक यू, वो 6 कोर्सेज जो सिलेबस के हैं वो पढ़ाना जरूरी है। आप एग्जांपल लेते हैं तो ऐसे कि मैथ्स 1 में अलजेब्रा भी पढ़ाऊंगा, फिर लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग पढ़ाऊंगा, सो ऑन। नाउ मतलब एक इनोवेशन जो आपके कॉलेज के लेवल पर हो सकता है कि अगर मान लीजिए मेरे पर एक बैच एक पर्टिकुलर ईयर का है, उस बैच के लिए मैंने कहा कि एक मैथ्स का कोर्स जो सिलेबस वेल डिफाइंड जैसा आपका है वैसा ही रहेगा। दूसरा मैंने कहा कि हमें एक लीनियर अलजेब्रा का है और दूसरा कोई कोर्स फिजिक्स का या कोई कोर्स है। मैं इन दोनों कोर्सेज को मिलाकर कोर्स पढ़ाऊंगा, वही 2 घंटे पढ़ाऊंगा या 1 घंटे पढ़ाऊंगा, टोटल नंबर ऑफ नोट्स में कोई काउंट में दिक्कत नहीं है, बट वो कोर्सेज को हम इस तरह से इंटीग्रेट कर देंगे कि दोनों का सिलेबस भी पूरा होगा, एक्टिविटीज भी होंगी, सब कुछ होगा, जिससे कि बच्चा उस थ्योरी एग्जाम को अच्छे से पास कर सके, जैसे हम करवाते हैं, बिकॉज वो हमारी रेस्ट्रिक्शन है, हमें करवाना पड़ेगा। तो 30 मार्क्स के मेरे बन जाएंगे 60 मार्क्स, और जब मैं 60 मार्क्स पे इनकलकेट करके इंटीग्रेशन वे में उनको पढ़ाऊंगा, चैलेंजिंग है, आई एम नॉट सेइंग चैलेंजिंग नहीं है, 3 या 4 साल बाद सीधे या शेप में लेकर आए, उससे फायदा क्या होगा, आप उसी रेस्ट्रिक्टिव एटमॉस्फेयर में रह के भी बच्चों को सारे एंगेजमेंट दे पाएंगे। So ultimate idea is what when they come out, they have that kind of learning. But like, if we can really think in that way, probably that innovation can bring a lot many things.
Yeah, it's good suggestion. आपको 2 फैकल्टी भी मर्ज हो गई और उनका 30-60 मार्क्स मिल गया। तो as a autonomous college you can do this kind of innovations ना?
Yes,
इसमें तो नहीं है। और कोई थॉट या कुछ?
If any questions, we are ready to answer the questions.
जिनकी एक्टिविटीज हो आप लोग बाद में मुझे अपलोड कर दें इसको कहीं हम लोग।
सर 2 स्टूडेंट्स के क्वेश्चंस मेरे पास आए हैं।
अच्छा, मिनट गिरजेश, may I ask?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I am a faculty of BSc Microbiology, and sir, मेरे कोर्स के objectives हैं to impart knowledge of basic principles of microbiology, to teach them microbiological techniques, and to enable students to understand the impact of role of microbes in our daily life and environment. Outcomes में है sir expectation, use various microbiological techniques with expertise. Then a student should be able to conduct the basic research with microorganisms in various industries, and they should understand and use microorganisms in their relation with environment. And to achieve these sir activities जो हम plan करते हैं, we make them view the microbe through microscope, then to give them a better understanding of the like ultrastructure of microscope, we make them see the electron micrograph photographs that are available on internet to the students. We conduct lab sessions, we take them for industrial visits, and we conduct their group experiments. And for assessment, sir, we use quiz, chart and models. So when they prepare chart and they make models, they develop a very good understanding about the finer details of the microbes. Then through MCQs, theory exams and PPTs, we assess them. So I want to ask you, sir, कि आप जैसे बता रहे सर हम इसमें कुछ interdisciplinary approach लाएं, तो how can we incorporate that into it? Please suggest.
So as you told, like some of the instruments are not available, so how you take from internet? right?
और जैसे वायरस है सर, वायरस को हम लैब में माइक्रोस्कोप पे नहीं दिखा सकते, उसको दिखाने के लिए हम इंटरनेट से सर पिक्चर्स ले लेते हैं, उसके थ्रू स्टूडेंट्स को समझा देते हैं। तो सर इसमें हम आईसीटी का और बेटर यूज कैसे करें?
यस, आईसीटी का यूज कर सकते हैं इसमें हम। लाइक, हैव यू सीन द वर्चुअल लैब्स?
यस सर,
some of the research institutions have developed these virtual labs.
Okay.
So if you search, hopefully in your area also there may be virtual lab. You can get the exposure of that. Or
I think what you can do, one more thing is, I don't know, maybe you have done it. You can contact, say, IIT Delhi kind of institutions, and they are having this liability to use their resources for others also. So if you talk to them and you say, okay, let's have an MOU. IIT Delhi is just an example. You can have any other institution where this virtual lab facility is there, and then having an MOU. And then you can have a session by which their people are demonstrating each and everything while doing that. Second thing that you can do, if you don't have that kind of bed size, or even if you have, you can plan. Then if that institution is in Jaipur or say nearby, you can take your students there so that you can say they can see viruses. So both the ways you can do, virtual also and going there as well.
yeah, in Bhopal, like Aishar is there, RRL is there, if they have some facility or some institution have. So that is the one way. And
virtual lab sir आप suggest कर रहे हैं, that is a very good option.
Yeah.
Student level पे. Thank you so much sir. Thank you so much, sir, for such an interactive and useful session. I hope all the participants are definitely benefiting. I would like to mention here that we have received plenty of appreciation remarks in the chat box also. I now request Ms. Girdish Chauhan to coordinate with our speakers to handle with the queries of the participants. Girdish.
Thank you, Chairman. So now I would like to share live chat box of YouTube to show our speakers that comments from viewers, and I'm so glad to show you all that chat box is full of positive appraisals, and kudos to both of you, sir. Also, we are getting offline questions. So this question is from Anjali Mukherjee, BCom second year, and she is writing, computers में it is easy to do project based learning, like languages में कैसे करें, जैसे कि हिंदी या English?
Yeah. So Amit sir, would you?
Yeah, please.
So मेरे को तो लगता है सबसे आसान अंग्रेजी और हिंदी में है ना, तो मैं हिंदी में बताऊंगा, ठीक है? तो कोई अगर मान लीजिए कोई एग्जाम्पल आप दे सकते हैं हिंदी या अंग्रेजी में। आई थिंक अंग्रेजी में तो बहुत बेहतर एग्जाम्पल एक अपने अभी प्रोफेसर ने आके बताया कि कैसे वो इनकलकेट कर रही है प्रोजेक्ट को। प्रोजेक्ट केवल एक ऐसा नहीं कि जो सामने दिखेगा ऑब्जेक्ट बनता हुआ वो प्रोजेक्ट है। मैथमेटिक्स में क्या प्रोजेक्ट बनाएंगे आप, राइट? सो अंग्रेजी में, इंग्लिश में, सपोज यू आर डूइंग एंड से यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट कम्युनिकेशन एंड क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग। इफ यू रिमेम्बर अमित सिन्हा सर ने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले बताया था कि कम्युनिटी बेस्ड फीडबैक। सो कम्युनिकेशन में क्या सिखाते हैं? हाउ टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस, हाउ टू टेक फीडबैक। नो, अब सपोज मैंने एक स्टूडेंट को ये 2 या 3 स्टूडेंट्स की एक टीम बनाई, हमने कहा कि लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड दैट कि सोसाइटी में प्रॉब्लम क्या है। सपोज स्वच्छता अभियान, टुडे इज बर्थडे ऑफ प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी, he has taken some स्वच्छता प्लेजर। तो स्वच्छता के ऊपर हमने कहा कि ठीक है, स्वच्छता पर लोगों का फीडबैक लेते हैं। तो हिंदी भाषा में कम्युनिकेशन देखना है कि जब मैं बाहर गया तो कैसे भाषा का ज्ञान लोगों को है, किस तरह के शब्दों में वो बोल रहे हैं। उस पर उनको हमने कहा कि आप जाकर रिपोर्ट बनाकर आइए, लेकर आइए। वो जो रिपोर्ट होगी वो कन्वर्सेशन होगा। इंग्लिश में है, इंग्लिश में आपने अपने पास की कम्युनिटी से 4 सरपंच और पंचों को बुलाया, पास में बुला के और स्टूडेंट्स को बैठा के उनके साथ ग्रुप डिस्कशन कराया। दैट्स कॉल्ड कम्युनिटी डिस्कशन। और उस कम्युनिटी डिस्कशन के बेस पर और फिर उसके अंदर कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स निकल कर आई। उस प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्यूशंस आइडेंटिफाई किया और एक रिपोर्ट बनाई। तो हमने क्या हुआ, हमने कम्युनिटी को एंगेज किया, हमने प्रॉब्लम्स को एड्रेस किया, उन रियल प्रॉब्लम्स पे हमने सॉल्यूशंस लिखना सिखाया, इंटरनेट से सर्च करके लिखना सिखाया, जो अवेलेबल है वो करना सिखाया, और एक प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट बनकर तैयार हुई। वो भी एक प्रोजेक्ट है, बिकॉज हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हम एक रियल लाइफ प्रॉब्लम को एम्पैथाइज कर रहे हैं, उसको समझ रहे हैं, उसका सॉल्यूशन क्या वर्ल्ड में है वो देख रहे हैं, फिर उसको हम लिख रहे हैं और लिखकर वापस प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं। ये भी पूरा एक प्रोजेक्ट है। तो आपने क्या हुआ, रिपोर्ट राइटिंग सिखाई, आपने क्वेश्चंस पूछना और उनसे डिस्कशन करना सिखाया, आपने प्रेजेंटेशन सिखाया, ये सब कम्युनिकेशन स्किल का पार्ट है। तो आपने राइटिंग स्किल्स एंड एवरीथिंग, एंड देन द टीचर एज अ मॉडरेटर is monitoring each and everything and intervening wherever they require, and they are giving learning in each and every aspect and covering the entire syllabus of that particular thing. So of course syllabus is necessary to guide us ki kya karna hai, but that's a way you can inculcate project based learning even in Hindi and English, not only in Kannada. Amit sir.
या तो एक्चुअली प्रोजेक्ट का मतलब सिर्फ कोई वेब एप्लीकेशन बनाना या ऐप बनाना नहीं है। एक्चुअली कोई भी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहे हो, प्रोजेक्ट है वो। तो हिंदी इंग्लिश की मैम में तो बताया ही ना, दे आर डूइंग लॉट ऑफ एक्टिविटीज, तो आई थिंक दैट कैन बी कंसीडर्ड एज अ प्रोजेक्ट, अगर उसको थोड़ा सा वो कंप्लीट करें पर्टिकुलर टास्क। या
So now we have next question from Vidhi Joshi, student of BSc 3rd year, and she is saying that, sir, I am not a teacher but a student. How learning can be enhanced by OOAA framework? Because except activity, how other 3 components can be handled at student side?
So activities, basically, if you see, activity is the part of learning on the behalf of a student. No, I think this Vidhi will agree with us that anything and everything, whatever we do, if it is not planned in a good way, it cannot be executed well. It has to be directed well. So when it comes to learning by the students, those activities are designed in alignment with the objectives and outcomes and ultimately attainment in terms of assessment. So you are correct, Vidhi, that on the point of student, you need to focus only on doing the best in terms of activity. And rest teachers have already designed those activities based on those objectives and outcomes. Sometimes, I also face this challenge. In mathematics, people are doing, say, encoding and decoding. So initially, I'm not telling that what concepts we are going to learn. Students will say, "Arey sir, kya kar rahe ho aap? Umesh Gupta ko code kara rahe ho, decode kara rahe ho. Everything is kind of game. What we are understanding out of it?" Then we say, "Let's see. ये concept build हुए." So जो स्टूडेंट्स उनको समझना है कि जो टीचर्स ने एक्टिविटी प्लान की है वो एक्टिविटी इन अलाइनमेंट ऑब्जेक्टिव्स एंड आउटकम्स है, वो एक्टिविटीज रैंडम एक्टिविटीज नहीं है। उन एक्टिविटीज के थ्रू वो लोग उसको करते, तो दैट लर्निंग, द लर्निंग एनहांसमेंट इज द फोकस ऑफ एक्टिविटी। इफ दे आर डूइंग एक्टिविटी द बेस्ट, द लर्निंग विल गेट ऑटोमेटिकली गेट एनहांस्ड। So those activities the part of learning enhancement. Amit sir.
You're right. So already like you are doing the activities, ना थोड़ा उस पे और brainstorming करें मिल के 2-3 faculties, तो उसको और better align कर सकते हैं, and we make it more interesting and useful. Activity तो हम करते ही हैं, उसका थोड़ा सा alignment और how we can give the proper weightage. जैसे अभी आपके पास limited weightage है ना, तो आप उसको कैसे enhance कर सकते हो, है ना? So that you have to think. I think as a faculty member you can jointly do the workshop. आप अपना अलग कर सकते हैं, हम इसको इंडिविजुअल, जैसे अभी एक इनपुट मिला है, अब आप अपने अपने ग्रुप में बैठ के इसको थोड़ा और ब्रेनस्टॉर्म करेंगे तो आई थिंक यू विल गेट विद बेटर आइडियाज कि हम इसको और कैसे अच्छे से कर सकते हैं. You can take the feedback from student also and some industry people also. Yeah.
Thank you sir. छाया मैम, क्वेश्चंस पेपर स्टूडेंट्स के यही थे, अगर ऑडिटोरियम में कोई टीचर्स पूछना चाहे तो वो, अदरवाइज हमारे सामने चेयरमैन मैम आ चुकी है.
हाँ जी, थैंक यू सो मच रितेश. अर्चना मैम की कुछ क्वेरी है, शी वांट टू शेयर.
Thank you, Chaya. Actually, sir, this is not a query, but actually, just as from your input, something has come in my mind to frame a course of 2 credits whereas the students will be for all the subjects. I'm not very sure, but I think something can crystallize out of it, that they can have a paper of tools and softwares, because nowadays teaching is shifting to internet and softwares in every subject. Maybe it is the language tool, maybe it is a software which they use in statistics or in physics, in computational physics. So they can have a paper of 2 credits only, whereas they will be, according to their subject, can opt for this and learn about the various tools available in their subject, which will strengthen their learning in the coming years of PG and research. Right?
Really, we can float. You can float a common course based on the tools and like softwares. Yeah, but it will be based on their student choice. It should be.
It will be according to the subject. It will modify as per the subject. There are some common tools like statistics, language tools are common. Others can
really
modify.
Great idea, but as a autonomous college, you have that like option. You can float, and you have that resources also. Of course, not because from your faculty only you have to prepare. Na? Like whoever is using these tools, they can design a course, and it is, I think, pure hands-on course.
Sir, under new education policy, actually, we can design our whole course.
Great.
We are
so one more thing, like just to add on, Amit sir, I'm sorry, just to add, do you have a NEC value-added course as an option in NEC
Yes.
in the value-added? So
Yes.
see, that's a very good opportunity.
Yes.
You can have very good scores in NEC if you float so many value-added courses, so that they are not needed to be credited. So if you run a very good course and let people who are interested join those course, then you give a certificate to them. I think that will add to your NEC score also, as well as students को भी learning आएगी कि केवल credit और grade के लिए नहीं, कुछ learning के लिए भी किया जाए.
You can give the certificate, 1 week, 2 week certificates, 2 week or it's kind of a value-added course.
Already we have already.
Yeah.
Yes. So, sir, that was my vague idea, which I thought that it will crystallize with your help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Dr. Megha Singh here again, sir. Actually, baat hui thi abhi project ki. The student had a query related to the project in English and Hindi. So here I would like to mention कि in general interdisciplinarity abhi project में भी introduce नहीं हुई है, which we are trying to work out with, and it is not an easy task to do project in English and Hindi as well, because language plays a vital role. It is not only the data that we have to collect, but we have to work on language also. So as a part of an innovation only, 4 of my students, 2 from UG and 2 from PG, they had done one course from IIT Roorkee, NPTEL say, a certified course. That was of 2 credits on effective writing. So we teach effective writing, but the students did that 4-week course and they got the certificate from IIT Roorkee only, the proctored examination that they qualified. And as a part of department, what we did, we asked them to prepare a report on their learning, because the course coordinator will throw light only on his objective of posing that course. But we asked the students to design what is their objective of choosing that course, what is the content that they have learned, and what is the outcome of it. And I worked as a moderator for that project, as sir told कि आप moderator की तरह work कर रहे हैं, teacher या facilitator. So I moderated and the student did it under me only. So if these other students are interested and they approach me, the Department of Language is always open for such students.
Great.
Thank you so much.
This is the actual purpose. Yeah, it's really nice. So others can also do same way. And I think it was MOOC or it was a physical course. Was that IIT Roorkee?
Sir, it was a self-paced program.
Self-paced means
so
online?
There they have it was online only. It was self-paced, and there were video scripts also, and the audio scripts also, because at times the courses were designed long back, so somehow the audio quality was not very good. So I advise my student to have the video scripts of those videos, and we could work on the language. If they're not able to understand that, the accents are not clear. So we worked on the speaking skills also and writing skills also. And the student drafted it on their own. So there was a lot more to work on language. And the course was on effective writing.
Yes, yes. So, of course, as a course coordinator, you can work and you can offer a MOOC course, because now NEP has actually agreed to include up to 40% MOOC courses.
Yeah. Even for the vocational NEP guidelines are like you should encourage students to go in more for these courses.
Great. Okay. Any more experience? Anything?
I would now request Chairman College Governing Body, Dr. Meena Pimplapure Madam, to bless us with her kind words.
The lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, many pranams, and it is inspiration from Baba which gives us this kind of inspiration to have this kind of workshops. I will say it was a wonderful workshop. Let me first of all say that I was a little late, and I really feel sorry about it that I couldn't be on time here. This was a wonderful session which was conducted by our renowned guests, Professor Dr. Amit Singhal ji, Umesh Gupta ji, who had kindly accepted our invitation, and they had given such a wonderful things to think. And I'm very happy to say that here I can see that our teachers are students. They are being taught how to do their duties. I'm very proud to say that my father was head of the physics department in Sagar University, and my mother was a professor of Sanskrit there, Dr. and Mrs. Bhavalkar. So I know what learning means, what the enhanced learning means. And I'm very happy and fortunate to be here for the whole session. I was there a little late, but I attended whole session. And this new concept is really something very wonderful. I would like to congratulate our computer department and our convener for this, Dr. Vaishali Kadwe, organizing secretary, Srimati Chaya Makdani, and Grijesh, of course, and also to our principal, Dr. Mrs. Asha Agrawal, to have this kind of wonderful workshops for the new generation and the new time. It was really said that during this period of Corona, there you had to find out some new methods to be near to the students, to be there. And about language also, yes, it's a best way of communication, and each and every language, because it is said that the child or whatever he thinks first and then translates. So if it is in their own language, it hits them more. Their learning is enhanced. And all these methods which are being taught today or are requested for the teachers to apply them for the best of students are really wonderful. And this session was wonderful. I will congratulate each and every person who was fortunate enough to join this workshop. And also I must thank wholeheartedly to our eminent speakers. And congratulations. And it was Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba, उनके ही आशीर्वचनों से, उनके ही आशीर्वाद से हम निरंतर आगे बढ़ते हैं, बढ़ते रहेंगे। आप सबको शुभकामनाएं देती हूँ और आपको अपने अपने इस कर्तव्य पथ पर आगे बढ़ते हुए एम जो चीजें उन्होंने समझाई हैं आप लोगों ने बहुत अच्छी तरह से समझी हैं और उस पर बढ़ते हुए आगे आप निरंतर सक्सेस की ओर, अपने एम की ओर बढ़ते जाएंगे, अपने ध्येय की ओर बढ़ते जाएंगे। आपको पुनः एक बार बहुत बहुत बधाई और बहुत बहुत आशीर्वाद और बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, madam, for your words of wisdom. I now invite Girjesh Chauhan for formal vote of thanks.
Before expressing my vote of thanks, Amit sir और उमेश sir, आप कुछ और कहना तो नहीं चाह रहे?
Thank you for listening us, and really the chairman madam has actually really given a ashirwad to us, and we will conduct such more workshops, and I hope this will be beneficial for you, and in next session you will propose some 2-3 new these kind of courses having this.
Of course sir.
चेयरमैन मैम के आशीर्वाद के लिए और उनके अच्छे शब्दों के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और साईं बाबा के मार्गदर्शन में यह संस्थान भी बढ़ता रहेगा, विद्यार्थी और छात्र सब आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे।
And this is also autonomous body, so that they can apply that real autonomous spirit into it.
और हम साथ हैं, हम साथ हैं,
we are ready.
आपको जो करना है आप करिए और हम साथ में मिलकर
आप लोगों के गाइडेंस और मार्गदर्शन में ही काम आगे बढ़ सकेगा।
So now, on the behalf of whole Sathya Sai family, first of all, I extend my most sincere thanks to Bhagwan Baba for making today's workshop a resounding success. And now I extend a hearty vote of thanks to both of our eminent speakers, our very own Dr. Amit Sinhal sir and the tech savvy Dr. Umesh Gupta. Sir, it was a very elaborative and informative session on innovations which, if we apply, may change our attitude completely towards teaching and learning. Your demonstrations and mind-boggling activities have enlightened our minds and shown us a new path. Thanks to both of you. A special mention to our chairman, Dr. Meena Pimplapuri Madam, to always stand beside us as a pillar of strength. Our principal, Dr. Asha Agarwal Madam, for giving us opportunity to conduct this national workshop. I express my gratitude towards IQAC coordinator and co-coordinator, Dr. Renu Mishra and Dr. Neena Arora Madam, for their guidance and support. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a proactive and dedicated organizing team. Special thanks to Ms. Usha Prasad. Last but not least, I would like to thank our viewers and for their active participation in the workshop and making it an interactive event besides of the distance. Thank you one and all. Now I request all the participants to submit the feedback form which has been, whose link has been provided on our YouTube chat box and WhatsApp groups. Also submit scanned copy of the worksheets of the exercises in our WhatsApp groups. E-certificate will be issued to the participants